Right, so here with Peter from Mini Warzone, and we're going to try out a game of Congo, a new game from Studio Tomahawk, and we're playing the scenario called King of the Apes, where Peter is going to attempt to capture a gorilla, which is in his lair in the centre of the table here.
Yeah, attempt is the good word to use.
Yeah.
Probably won't manage it.
And I'm going to control the Forest Tribes faction and stop him, and if I can't stop him, I want to see the gorilla dead so that his spirit will remain in the jungle forever, rather than him being carted off to a zoo in London or whatever. Okay, so we're at the end of turn 1. It's a game with 6 going on to 7 turns, and Peter's made a kind of rapid progress. He's got a group of soldiers there with his reporter attached, very close to the gorilla's lair already, and another group down here are young warriors trying to cut off my advance from over this side, and a lot of figures over in the far corner that aren't in camera shot coming in from the other corner, and I'm coming in from the other 2 diagonal corners. And so far all that's happened is that Peter managed to spook some of my pygmy archers, but I managed to get that stress taken off. And that's about it really.
Because you've still got that group of guys.
I've still got one group of guys to come on, my bunduki, who are armed with muskets, and so other than a lot of movement. And the game is played with cards, so you move, you have 7 action cards and you pick 3 of them and play one of those cards per action step in the turn. So there are 3 action steps in the turn, and each card permits you to do different things, either move, shoot, or apply influence to another group, which is how Peter spooked my pygmies, or take a stress taken off of one of your own groups. And they're ranked, so one card will take priority over the other, over another. And then on top of that there's a group of totem cards which allow you to enhance your moves or your dice rolls, whatever the totem is. So for turn 1 really all we've been doing is trying to get our groups into permission, and that's about it so far. Okay, so we're now at the end of turn 2, and Peter's made one attempt to wound the gorilla with his group of soldiers, and they didn't manage it, got driven off, and then they got... What did you get? You got shot at a lot, didn't you?
I believe so, yeah.
Can't remember. So he's only left with 2 figures now, and he's not doing...
Actually killed the reporter's dead, isn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah, he sacrificed his reporter rather than take a loss from his soldiers. And his next nearest group to the gorilla are these Ruga here, who are superstitious lot, and I've got my witch doctor threatening them there, so I don't think he's got much chance with them. And then I've got a group of warriors here. Peter's managed to collect 2 of the totems. There are 2 posts left that he can collect totem cards from, but he's managed to take the one there and the one there. And most of the rest of his figures are still moving slowly onto the table over here. But I can't talk because I've still got a group off the table I haven't brought on yet. And these figures here, the ones with the sort of yellow grass are Peter's there, and the ones with the greenish flock are mine. So they're facing one another off at the moment. So far the gorilla's still got all 8 of his lives. And Peter needs to weapon him down to 0 in order to capture him, and also the last one has to be lost in melee, so he can't shoot at it in the last attempt. And over here also I've got my scouts in this dangerous terrain, and they've allowed... And there, somewhere in there are my pygmies, who are going to be able to fire their poison arrows at these guys in a minute.
Can try.
Yeah. And that's where we are so far. So this is now the end of turn 3. Peter's not doing too well. I've managed to wipe out a group of his young warriors over here by shooting from these 2 groups here. And my fearsome warriors with their painted faces have wiped out his soldiers as well. So he's got a lot of figures on the move now, coming this way. He did manage to hit the gorilla with rifle fire, so the gorilla's down to 7 lives now. And I remembered to put my bunduki on the table, so they're going to come across and take some pot shots. Oh, and you wiped out one half of my pygmies, didn't you?
Hey!
Yeah, the group in the trees is no longer there. Yeah, but they managed to get. Oh, they got an automatic hit, didn't they? They managed to get some poisoned arrows into something. Yeah. Those Ascari. They managed to kill 2 Ascari automatically by hitting them with a 888. The poisoned arrows. And that's where we are so far. Right, end of turn 4. The gorilla's down to 5 lives now, so Peter is whittling him down a little bit, but his progress across the table here is being hampered somewhat. Yeah, I've managed to, my bundukis have got over here, managed to fire off muskets and wiped out nearly all his trained Ascaris. He threw a 1 on the terrifying death roll, so his explorer died. Over here my ferocious warriors here have chased off his Ruga, and I think that's about it for that. That was the highlights of that one, wasn't it? Oh, he's nearly killed off all my scouts now. I've got 1 scout left there.
Thankfully.
Yeah. So he's got 2 more turns in which to try and catch this gorilla. Right, so that was the end of turn 5. And there's quite a lot of activity going on. Peter's managed to get 1 figure into the gorilla's lair at the moment, so he's stopping me from drawing totem cards according to this scenario. There's a lot of interchange between his Ruga and I'm kind of beginning to crowd him over there, but his main priority, he's got 1 more turn now to try and capture the gorilla, so it's not looking good for him. But we'll see what happens. Right, we're on to the final turn now then, turn 7. Kong has managed to slaughter the last of Peter's figures in his lair here. So Peter's only chance really of getting to Kong and is with these figures over here, and their way's pretty effectively blocked. So it's not looking promising. Over here he has got these Ruga. We might pull something out the bag. Oh, that token can come off now. And the game can end at any point now in turn 7, so we may be very close to the end now. There's only 1 more turn to go at the very most. That's it, the game ended early in turn 7 then. The end of the 2nd action step in fact, so Peter's a mile off catching Kong. He remains safe in his lair. So he wasn't killed or captured, which means it goes down to points, and Pete gets a point for each life he's taken off of Kong, which is only 3 points, whereas I get 3 points for every group that I've eliminated. I've eliminated quite a few groups, yeah. So I think we can say that I won. But I have played this as a solo game just to try the rules out as well, and I really think even though the white men's column have more points on the table, I don't know if you agree, Pete, but it's a very difficult task to actually capture the gorilla.
Yeah, it was. Looking at it to start with, I thought I was going to have an advantage.
Yeah.
But once we got into it, it was obvious after turn 1. I thought, this is going to be difficult.
Yeah, and unless you actually whittle his lives down at the beginning with shooting, if you get into melee with the gorilla, he rolls 8d8 dice in combat.
Yeah, you've really got to go for it.
Yeah,
as
get over into the middle of the table as quickly as possible. So it's not an easy objective to accomplish, but
although I felt morally bad trying to capture or kill this, I did try my best.
Yeah, we think the gorilla belongs in the jungle
He
and
does.
not in a cage in London Zoo. So we're both quite happy with the result.
Yeah.
Right, that's it.